Now we are so habitual of treating those patients. So I will go through. Nowadays, everybody thinks that eye surgery is a very minor surgery. No much pain, no bleeding, nothing. It's just a maximum 2 hour surgery. And different age group patients are coming. Thank God for the pediatric patients, anesthetists are there. But for what about the older patients? They are having multiple comorbidities. This patient, this photograph is of 104 years. So more than 100 years patients are also coming. He came for the therapeutic PK. I said that I will not give GA to that patient. Ophthalmologist said there is no comorbidities. Now how will you know that? Babaji is saying, Babaji's son is saying, he was also 80 plus. I want my father to see. He has lost his vision during this period. He can walk for 2 miles, and he goes to the farm also for seeing the things, but he is not able to see, so we want something. So therapeutic PK was done for this patient, which was done under block, of course, with the cardiac monitoring. So ICU admissions are there, and nowadays I must say that ICU admissions are having more incidence than the previous one. Maybe previously the older age patients are not coming, maybe the ophthalmologists are now more advanced and they think that they can do everything. And sometimes mortality also. We have faced it. I think in the last 1 year we had 2 mortalities in the OT. OT or going to the ICU and then. So we will discuss as a case scenario. A 20-year-old boy being operated for strabismus surgery, no comorbidities. He came in the morning as daycare and the block was put and the surgery was started. Suddenly he starts complaining of distress and uneasiness. So what is this? That some of the young surgeon, if he is doing a हिलो मत, तुम्हें बोला था नहीं तो तुम्हारी आंख खराब हो जाएगी. But the other person who is a better resident, he has seen complication in the last OT. So he felt the pulse and he has seen that feeble pulse and bradycardia. So what may be the cause? Every ophthalmologist knows that this is the oculocardiac reflex. So what to do? If ignored, what can happen? अभी अभी ठीक हो जाएगा? No. It can lead to arrhythmias, hypoxia, cardiac arrest, and if not noticed, death. We had seen in one case in which the retinal surgery was going on, and the surgeon was very happy that there is no bleeding. Actually, he was operating on a dead patient. So what is the management? Temporary cessation of surgical stimulus. As soon as patient is saying something, stop manipulating. Ask him what is happening, what he feels. Give intravenous atropine. We had discussed that 0.3 to 0.6 milligram. If it is an adult patient, you can give 1 ml or make 1 ml and give it half ml and then again repeat it. And if most of the time we have seen that OCR happen only in GA cases. We have seen that if the block is good, there is less chances of having OCR. So block is inadequate. Then if the block is inadequate, then you can give Subtenon block. In the squint surgery, it's very easy to give. You have already opened the conjunctiva and Subtenon block can be given there only. And to prevent it, anticipate that this patient can have. It has been seen that in the young patients, it's more common. Have monitoring available. Second case scenario. A 50-year-old patient with no history of any other comorbidities. After the surgery, once you say, Babaji, idhar ut jao, kyunki most of the time what happens after the surgery, the patient goes standing and he walks to the recovery room. So in between he collapsed after the surgery during shifting. What could be the cause? Now you can tell that this is the vasovagal syncope. The treatment is same as the previous one. Now the VR surgery is going on in a 70-year-old lady. She starts complaining of chest pain and simultaneously difficulty in breathing. What can be the cause? Whether anybody has taken pains to take the history of the patient, whether the patient was hypertensive or diabetic or having CAD or on some medication, or was any drug which she was taking previously was missed, or any drug was given intraoperatively. So at that point of time, one of these SR will say that call the anesthesiologist from the opposite side. That SR will say to the junior SR, and that junior SR will say to the senior JR, and senior JR say, no, I am not first semester. I will not run. And he will say to the first semester JR, and then he will come. He will not know anything about the patient. He will just say that you are being called in OT number 8. So meanwhile, when I am going to attend or my resident is going to attend that patient, we will say at least put monitors, record meanwhile pulse, BP or saturation, at least put oxygen. So in the meanwhile, I was thinking all these things, whether the patient was having this or that or that. So what can be the cause? Patient may be diabetic, hypertensive, or having all the things with CAD, not taking medication. This patient, I am talking about this patient was diabetic, hypertensive, and was having CAD also, not taking medication for last 1 month because she was very depressed. Her eye was not, she was not able to see, so she was saying that I will stop taking interest in my life and I will not take any medication. Was having pain during the surgery. And simultaneously, because the pupil was not being dilated because she was the diabetic, the resident put Tropicacil Plus to dilate the pupil, which was initially instilled before the surgery also, because the pupil was not dilating and the JR thought that it will be not fully dilated, then my SR will scold me. So he has put 3, 4, 5 times Tropicacil Plus before the start of surgery also. So what should be done at that point of time? Reassure and stop manipulation of the eye. Call the anesthesiologist or cardiologist or physician. Put oxygen simultaneously. If somebody is not there, then give Sorbitrate 5 mg sublingually. You can use intravenous antihypertensive just like anti-G and labetalol. If patient is having pain, stop the manipulation and supplement the block. As I said that in the VR surgery also, the subtenon space is very much open. You can give some amount of local anesthetic there and wait for some time. What was the precipitating cause in this patient? First of all, pain, which will lead to stress, anxiety, tachycardia, high blood pressure, and then the other vicious cycle. Phenylephrine was the most important precipitating factor for most of the cardiovascular complications because it leads to transient hypertension. It can lead to pulmonary edema and even the cardiac arrest. So what should be done to prevent it? Take a proper history of the patient. If you feel that something is there, then give a medicine consultation. Intraoperative monitoring should be available. A good regional block. Supplement block intraoperatively if any problem is there, because nowadays subtenon block is such good block and every ophthalmologist should know how to give it and to have that cannula also. Avoid adrenaline in CAD patients and avoid phenylephrine at all costs. Everybody knows that only 1 or 2 drops is more than enough to dilate the pupil if it has been used for phenylephrine. There is no need to put whole bottle of phenylephrine. It has been reported multiple times that cardiovascular adverse event due to phenylephrine eye drops in ophthalmic surgeries, and it happens that hypertension with electrocardiographic modification and a rise of troponin E was also reported. Phenylephrine is available in 5%. 1 ml contains 50 mg. 1 drop contains 2500 microgram, and maximum dose for an adult is 50 microgram to 100 microgram. Because at the time of eye surgery, the eye vessels are open, so it can be absorbed intravenously. So for adult patient, maximum dose is 50 to 100 microgram. So maximum dose we are giving with 1 drop, 25 to 50 times maximum dose. Initial dose in adults is should not exceed 0.5 milligram, and in the children up to 25 kg should not exceed 20 milligram, 20 microgram per kg. So use a microdropper if you want to give phenylephrine. Tell your anesthetist if you are giving phenylephrine, and please don't use in those patients who are having cardiac disease. Emergency drug should be there. Now, at the time of surgery it is happening. How to prevent it? By doing preoperative consideration. Preoperative assessment should be done as early as possible. There is no need for anesthetist to do it. A technician, a junior most resident can also do it. Select the appropriate patient. Identify patients who will need sedation or GA, because if patient is very anxious and you are doing the surgery without any sedation, at that point of time patient is also having hypertension. He can have tachycardia, hypertension, and sometimes stroke also, or MI. If all these things are there, cancel them beforehand only. Have a printed pro forma. I will say that this will prevent 10-15 minutes of a resident. Have a printed pro forma which should have all the medical problems. Do you have hypertension, CAD, asthma, diabetic illness, any oral medication, any allergy, any previous hospitalization? Are you claustrophobic? Can you lie supine comfortably? Because these two things are very, very necessary for doing a surgery under local anesthesia. And I will say because of the medical legal problems, a signature of the patient and one witness should also be there. Sometimes they don't tell the problems and something happens and after that it will come. So in the legal matter, you have no proof to say that this was not told by the patient. Ask the patient if he has any other medical records, show them. Significant systemic disease, record the history and examination and relevant investigation, and delay the elective surgery. There is no problem in delaying the patient surgery. One person should be there to examine the pulse, rhythm, blood pressure, respiratory rate. There are two types of patient. Patient with no history of significant systemic disease, no abnormal finding on examination, then there is no special investigation is needed. If patient is having history or abnormal finding, then consult the specialist for optimization. Suppose a patient is coming for the cataract surgery, you have planned it under topical anesthesia and at that time BP was 180 by 100. What to be done? It may be white coat hypertension, it may be primary or secondary hypertension because in our country there is no regular medical checkup. It may be hypertensive but any time the BP was not taken. So tell the patient to take BP daily for 3 days from a local physician, and if it's still high then antihypertensive should be started and proper history should be taken. Rapid lowering of BP immediately prior to surgery is not advised. If uncontrolled hypertension, there is risk of ophthalmic complications also. So medication should be continued till the day of surgery. Avoid phenylephrine and adrenaline in hypertensive patients. Same patients, if he is saying that there is chest pain and breathlessness also, then send the patient to the cardiologist for other investigations. In the diabetic patients, blood sugar should be controlled. Nowadays, if the blood sugar is 250 and they ask me whether we should go ahead or not, or you will monitor the patient, I will say that I will definitely monitor the patient, but it's up to you about the complications. Because it's not for the systemic things, but for the eye also. They will be delayed in healing and other problems. There may be chances of infection in the post-op period also. So these patients, if the patient is done under topical anesthesia, then normal dose and normal breakfast can be given. But if the surgery is to be done under sedation or GA, then omit the morning dose of insulin along with the food. The patients are coming who are having CRF and dialysis. So they are having multiple comorbidities. These patients should be done under cardiac monitoring only. They have abnormal coagulation, so block is very risky. Always see the platelets and PT before giving the blocks. And medication should be given. If patient is needing dialysis, then dialysis should be done a day prior of the surgery. And on the day of surgery, the serum electrolytes should be seen. In pulmonary disease also, the patient should not have that much chronic cough before taking the patient for the surgery, because during the surgery, if patient is coughing, then it's difficult. You should invest some money to have an anesthesia machine, monitor, and the emergency drugs. You can see, this is the GAOT. Have at least one IV cannula and saturation to prevent problems. I will not say in every patient because it's very difficult, but at least in the problematic patients. Or you can monitor by it can be monitored by the anesthetist or physician. Many old patients, they are not able to lie supine and sometimes they are roaming here and there because they are not comfortable. You can have a pillow so that their knee can be slightly flexed and lumbar lordosis will be also reduced. They will be more comfortable. You can ask the patient how you sleep or whether you need any pillow before behind your legs. This was the patient who was on oxygen concentrator. She was on oxygen beforehand also in the home. So you can see that she is not able to lie supine. So in the table, invest in tables in which the head end can be elevated. In this patient, laser was done for the glaucoma. She was having uncontrolled increase in intraocular pressure. This type of flat table, sometimes many patients, they are not able to lie so flat. You can see that this is an obese patient in which block is being given and she will be not able to lie totally supine. you can see that the abdomen is so distended. And in between, if you are doing a VR surgery, she will be not lying for 1.5 hours. So head end can be elevated and make the patient comfortable. You can have oxygen by nasal prong or by the closed circuit. In this patient also you can see that nasal prongs, they are not causing any problem during this eye surgery. Although face mask cannot be put, but with this oxygenation can be done. Detail of surgery and anesthesia should be told to the patient to reduce the anxiety. Need for pre-operative admission should be told to them. If you are doing a difficult case without admitting them as a daycare, you should tell them that maybe we will admit you after the surgery. Always tell the warning symptoms of local anesthetic toxicity beforehand. Fasting I told you, and morning doses of all the drugs should be given. To prevent the complication, if you are dealing with 50 patients per day, you will be not able to know that which patient was having more problems. So have a band in their hand who are those patients who are high risk patients, diabetic, hypertensive, NCAD, and you are doing without any anesthetics. Have some identification marks so that you can deal with them in a better way. A person who is more experienced will put the block and other monitorings can be available. Thank you.